I want our fucking border secured.
But we've also got the problem of illegal migration. We've now up to a 50% increase on the number of people coming across the channel on those small boats, 50 a boat, hundreds again yesterday, and last weekend, this lovely calm weather, just bringing them over, 50% higher than it was this time of year last year under the Tories. And we know one of the issues, again, is people want to come because they know they can't be deported. Even in the case of a grooming gang, and you've spoken out an awful lot on this issue, and all credit to you for that, but Pakistan is refusing to take back the ringleaders of the Rochdale child grooming scandal after they renounced their Pakistani citizenship. And so Qari Abdul Rauf and Adil Khan, two of the worst grooming offenders that have ever been convicted, they lost their appeals against deportation in 2018, 7 years ago, but are still in this country because Pakistan won't take them back. What do you make of that?
Well, I'm quite clear on it, Julia. You know, I think we give all this foreign aid out. I think we give Pakistan £133 million a year. Yep. And we therefore have leverage. So if they refuse to take back these rapists, and, you know, you only got to look at the way in which our legal system is getting it all wrong when you look at the sentences that are handed out to these people, and you juxtapose that against the sentence that was handed out to Lucy Connolly. Yep. We're trying to hopefully have a debate on that issue in Parliament if enough people sign our petition, which we're hoping will go live soon. So I think, you know, we need to start getting tough, and we need a government that puts the interests of the British taxpayers at the top of the agenda. I think I'm right in saying that at the moment we're spending something like $1 billion a month on foreign national asylum seekers and something like $1 billion a year on illegal asylum seekers, or illegal economic migrants, as I call most of them. So, again, the thing is, it's out of control. It's our government is not an effective mechanism through which to manage our borders, as we've seen since Brexit. People voted for their borders back, and they haven't got them back. So, I mean, honestly, Julia, there's so much wrong. Where do we start? I think we have to have, and collectively, we need to start scrutinising the permanent secretaries, who I would argue, given that Parliament's been undermined by I think basically the two-party system. It's been the primacy of Parliament, the primacy of the elected MPs has been undermined. The ability of the people in Parliament has been undermined by selection processes from Cameron and Blair. So as a result, the civil service is out of control.
They're no longer civil servants. They think they can direct policy. They're open about it now.
Julia, they're definitely not. So I think, you know, the media needs to start turning its attention. Who are these permanent secretaries? What do they believe in? What are their names? Are they fulfilling their function properly? Because they're actually the people running the country. Yeah. As I've said in the past, the front bench has never, most of them have never done anything real in their lives. They've never run a business. There's an over-representation of human rights lawyers throughout our entire...
And again, they're led by the civil servants who've been there. And again, I agree with you. I think it's civil servants are part of the problem, but I also think that lawyers are part of the problem, our courts and judges.
Totally, Julia.
Let me get to another case just finally.
Lawyers are enriched by all this.
Latest story, an Afghani asylum seeker, Sadiq Niksat, who entered the UK legally on a small boat, imagine that. 2 years later, he raped a 15-year-old schoolgirl. Yesterday, he was handed a 12-year extended sentence at Livingston High Court after the rape in Falkirk Town Centre back in October 2023. Basically, he approached a girl who's 15, asked for her phone number, asked if she had a boyfriend, made sexual remarks, and then basically dragged her behind a pub and raped her. She said she kept telling him she was 15. What was absolutely extraordinary to me was his defence counsel, Janice Green, told an earlier hearing that her client had not been educated about the significant cultural differences between the UK and Afghanistan, and there was a cultural barrier and indeed a language barrier between Niksat's home country, where child marriage was common. And she said, I'm not suggesting that means that he reasonably believed, or he was the complainer, the woman, the girl was consenting, but that there's a reason why he could have misunderstood. Well, given that you're not supposed to have sex before marriage in Islam, I'm not quite sure why raping a 15-year-old behind a pub would count as being part of his culture, as an extraordinary defence for her to offer, and she should be ashamed of herself. But the idea that, well, he thought it was okay to do this, presumably, because this was a girl who was not covered up, not shrouded, no face cover, no. So he thought she was frankly game. And this is part of the problem, isn't it? We now know, a huge number of sexual assaults. We know a huge number of the grooming gangs from particular areas in Pakistan, their heritage, but sex assaults carried out by foreigners coming to this country who have a completely different culture to the one that we have here.
Well, I think there is a cultural issue, Julia, and possibly, our what I call underage white working class girls, is the family unit as strong as the family unit within the Islamic community? So what are the reasons? I think we need to start to analyse why this has been happening. And my rape gang inquiry, which we're carrying on with to hold the government to account, because I don't know about you, but I don't trust governments. Not only do they run up a huge bill with all these inquiries, they usually take forever. Yeah. And they usually end up with the establishment judging the establishment, which means you don't get the truth. So I think in his case, you asked me the question, it's a bit like if you aid and abet somebody who's doing something illegal, you yourself are judged as breaking the law. Yeah. Whether or not you know you're aiding and abetting something illegal. Now, it doesn't, for me, serve as a defense, the fact that he doesn't know that he's doing something wrong. Yeah. He's breaking our laws. He is effectively treating somebody underage in a way he shouldn't. And for me, it's quite straightforward. I would simply deport him. I don't think...
I'd just put him on a dinghy and send him straight to the channel.
I'd send him straight back to wherever he's from.
But we can't. Legally we can't. We can't fly him back to Afghanistan. They won't have him back.
Well, if those people won't accept him, then we cut off all foreign aid until they start to behave sensibly, because we can't have people here who don't respect our culture, don't respect our laws, and actually damage our own way of life. I think the British people have had enough of it now. The British people, Julia, are incredibly long-suffering. Yeah. But do you know what? I think they've got pretty much to breaking point.
I agree with you. I feel that there has been an absolute change in the last few months where people have gone, we're done now. This is it. Enough is enough. Rupert Lowe, really good to get you back on the show. Independent.